Welcome back to jkdent.ease. Take a look at this image. What you see? A defect in the crown. Today in our lecture we are going to learn different defects seen on the casting and how to tackle them. So today our topic is casting defects. Kind of casting defects. The first one is the surface roughness. When there is rough casting, or you can say rough crown or rough framework, then it is called as surface roughness. Then there is distortion. That is, if this is a normal shape, but after casting it comes something like this, that is, it is distorted, then it is called as distorted casting. If while casting, if there is something like this, that is, this portion has not sufficiently filled, then it results in incomplete casting. The crown is not well formed, then it is incomplete casting. Then comes contaminated casting. If your casting is very shiny, if it is black, it is mainly because of the air entrapped gases like sulfurs, oxygens, which results in contamination of the casting, which affects the casting properties. To control this, we used palladium, platinum, which absorbs hydrogen. We can go for zinc, which forms the chelation. We can also use chloride ions, which helps to reduce the oxidative properties. Most common defect seen is porosity. And today we are going to learn in detail about the different porosities. So let's start as internal porosities and external porosities. Internal porosities are the porosities which are within the casting, and external porosity is the porosity which is seen on the margin of the casting. So if this is your crown, the porosity seen in this region is the external porosity. So first we will see the internal porosities. They are further divided as solidification shrinkage porosities. They are of three types. The first is localized shrinkage porosity. Then there is suck-back porosity, or you can say as hotspot porosity. And the third is microporosity. Then these porosities are irregular. Then there is one more porosity which is spherical, and because of the gases. The first one is itself a gas inclusion porosity, and the second one is pinhole porosity. The third is subsurface porosity. The external porosity is, the example is back pressure porosity. So we are going to see all these porosities one by one. The first porosity is the localized shrinkage porosity. Shrinkage porosity, what happens, there is seen a porosity in this region. Why the porosity is seen in this region? In ideal condition, the solidification occurs first in this region and later on the sprue. That is, the solidification occurs in this direction. But in localized shrinkage porosity, what happens? This sprue gets solidified first before the crown portion. And what happens? This area solidifies later. And while solidification, what happens? The junction in between the crown as well as the sprue, it is remained molten, and it solidifies the last. As it solidifies the last, there is no metal remaining for the compensation of the casting shrinkage, because the sprue has already been solidified. That's why there is a porosity seen in this region, which is called as localized shrinkage porosity, as it is localized to an area. This is about the localized shrinkage porosity. Then the next porosity, it is hotspot porosity. In the hotspot or suck-back porosity, what happens? The sprue is attached at an angle of 90 degree to the wax patterns. What happens? The molten metal will enter and will directly hit this area. The hot metal will form a hot spot in this area, and after that it will go in this direction. What will happen? in the solidification process is first is the wax pattern and then the sprue. The solidification will start, and what will happen? This area will get solidified, but this hot spot will remain unsolidified or will solidify the last. There will not be any metal available for compensation of the shrinkage to this area, and this area will result in a porosity which is called as hot spot porosity or sub-back porosity. How to avoid this porosity? So this porosity can be avoided by flaring the attachment of the sprue to the wax pattern. That is, when the molten metal will enter, it will go in this direction instead of hitting this area. So you need to flare it. Along with that, you need to control the temperature difference between the two areas. If there is more temperature difference, there will be creation of the hot spot, which results in porosity. While in the first porosity, that was the localized shrinkage porosity, why it had happened? Because we have used a very thin sprue. Because of the thin and narrow sprue, there is inappropriate entry of the molten metal. Secondarily, if there is insufficient metal quantity or the temperature is low. Along with that, if the sprue is not attached to the thickest part of the wax pattern, then it results in localized shrinkage porosity. To avoid the localized shrinkage porosity, what you need to do? It is you need to attach the sprue to the thickest part of the wax pattern. Secondarily, you should maintain the appropriate diameters of the sprue for avoiding the localized shrinkage porosity. Now the next porosity we will see is the microporosity. In the microporosity, what happens? There is rapid cooling, or you can say rapid solidification of the molten metal. So if the temperature of the molten alloy is very low, there will be rapid solidification. And as there is rapid solidification, there is tearing of the metal. That is, there can be crack in the metal. You can say it is a tearing in the metal, which results in microporosity within the casting. How to control it? You need to control the temperature. If the temperature of the molten metal is very low, it will not reach adequately, or it will not form a proper uniform casting. To avoid that, maintain the temperature of the alloy. You should not undergo rapid cooling of the investment also to avoid the microporosities. There is gas inclusion porosity, or you can say pinhole porosity. What happens when the molten metal enters? It has entrapped air, or you can say entrapped gases. These entrapped gases are seen in the molten metal, and it tries to escape out. And if there is no outlet for the escape of gases, it results in gas inclusion porosity, which is seen as a void in the casting. Then what is pinhole porosity? It is also due to the entrapped gases, but what happens? These gases tries to come in this area, and it is not escaping out. So it creates holes at the walls. So this porosity is called as pinhole porosity by the air entrapped gases. So why this porosity has occurred? So for this we will see the diagram. So if this is a gas torch and these are the flames. The first zone is the mixing zone, then there is combustion zone, reducing zone, and last is the yellow zone, which is the oxidizing zone. So this is a colorless zone. The combustion zone have a low temperature. The lowest temperature is seen in the mixing zone, then is the combustion zone, and the highest temperature it is seen in the reducing zone, and it is of blue color. So you can see that this is a blue color zone, and the yellow zone have number of gases like oxygen, hydrogen, and it is of yellow color, and it is having low temperature to that of the reducing zone. And if you are heating your casting in this zone, your casting get entrapped with various gases like hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur, and these gases enters with the molten metal. So what you need to do to avoid the gas inclusion porosity? You need to heat your casting in the reducing zone, that is the blue flame of the gas torch. So in this way, this porosity can be avoided. Then the next porosity is the subsurface porosity. Subsurface porosity, what happens? The molten alloy enters with the gases inside, but it enters very fast. The molten alloy has a turbulent flow. Why the turbulent flow? Because the diameter of the sprue was thick and it was very close to the wax pattern. So what happened? The molten metal had flown at a turbulent flow and there was no uniform distribution, and entrapped gases get trapped, and there is solidification of this area simultaneously. That is, this area must solidify first and then this. But this whole area gets solidified simultaneously, and because of the pressure created by the entrapped gases, it results in subsurface porosities. So there is subsurface porosity. Then the last porosity we will see is the external porosity, that is the back pressure porosity. What happens when the metal enter with the air entrapped gases? The gases tries to escape. What will happen? It will try to escape from this area as well as from the investment material. If your investment material is dense, there will be no room for the escapement of the gases. And if the distance between the wax pattern and the thickest part, that is this part of the investment, is not maintained 1/4, the gases will not travel out. That is, the gases will come till here but will not go out. So when there is solidification, what will happen? The whole area will get solidified except the air trapped, and that air trapped will create pressure on the alloy. That is, it will create back pressure from this area, and you will get a casting something like this. That is, there will be a short casting, or there will be seen a porosity at the margin of the casting. That is, if this is your crown, the porosity will be seen in this area. Why? Because of the air entrapment, or you can say trapped air is not escaping out. Secondarily, if there is dense investment material, that is, there is no room for the escapement of the air, then also there is back pressure porosity. How to avoid that? That is, simply maintain a 1/4 distance between the wax pattern and the thickness of the investment material, and use a porous investment material which will give a room for the escapement of the air by maintaining proper water powder ratio of the investment material. So this is all about the internal porosities as well as the external porosities. If you have doubt, feel free to ask in the comment box. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, press the bell icon and subscribe to my channel.